Welcome to Minghui Radio's Falun Gong News, direct from China and around the world. Topics include news about the persecution of Falun Gong in China, local events, and special items of interest. Now for this week's stories.
Worldwide, the Mid-Autumn Festival, also known as the Moon Festival, is observed on October 6th this year. As the holiday approached, many people from all walks of life from across the globe communicated heartfelt gratitude for the immense physical and mental benefits they have experienced after they began practicing Falun Dafa. Countless beautiful Mid-Autumn Festival greetings were sent to the Minghui website for Master Li, the founder of Falun Dafa. Many included personal experiences about the wonder of the practice, as well as group photos from grateful practitioners and supporters of Falun Dafa. They expressed gratitude for the teachings that guide them and offer people hope. Practitioners affirm that Master Li teaches them to follow truthfulness, compassion, forbearance in improving themselves. They found in Falun Dafa the key to happiness, and that cultivating the heart and mind often leads to better health, inner peace, and conflict resolution. Practitioners also held fast to the hope that the Chinese Communist Party's brutalities would end soon.
Taiwan. Practitioners in Yunlin County gathered at Chuandian's residence for their monthly cultivation experience sharing on September 21st. With the Mid-Autumn Festival approaching, they expressed their gratitude to Master Li and wished him a happy holiday. After the lunch break, practitioners shared their cultivation experiences and encouraged each other to diligently follow the Falun Dafa teachings.
USA. The 166th Belchertown Fair was held in Massachusetts from September 19th to the 21st. The event features rides and games, farm animals and other livestock exhibits, live music, balloon art, and a variety of foods, creating a festive atmosphere. Wood carving demonstrations and horse-drawn carriage rides offer a first-hand glimpse into rural life. Falun Gong practitioners demonstrated the exercises at their booth and talked to people about the persecution of the practice. Some people were not aware that the CCP sanctions the harvesting of organs from incarcerated practitioners, nor did they know that the CCP uses the judicial system and media in the U.S. and other countries to further the persecution of Falun Gong and Shenyun performing arts. Many people signed a petition in support of the Falun Gong Protection Act, awaiting passage in the U.S. Senate.
Canada. The 74th annual Niagara Grape and Wine Festival Parade took place in St. Catharines on September 27th. Every September, the Niagara region in Canada hosts the festival, which is the largest and longest-running wine festival in the country. Falun Dafa's Tianguo marching band and waist-drum team were invited to participate and received warm applause. Falun Gong practitioners and democracy advocates held a march and rally in front of the Chinese consulate in the city of Toronto on September 28th. They condemned the CCP's persecution of Falun Gong and called for help to stop the CCP's transnational repression in Canada.
USA. A celebration of Latino culture and heritage in Washington, D.C. was held on September 27th and 28th. The two-day Fiesta DC featured live music, dance performances, a wide variety of handcrafts, and authentic Latin American cuisine. Falun Gong practitioners set up a booth and introduced the practice and its principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance to visitors. They also raised awareness of the CCP's persecution and collected signatures on a petition calling for an end to the human rights abuses.
The Netherlands. Dag van Roosendaal, also known as Roosendaal Day, was held in Roosendaal, the Netherlands, on Sunday, September 21st, 2025. Over 140 organizations participated. Locals look forward to this festival, which highlights community and friendship. This is the third year that Falun Dafa practitioners have been invited to participate. Practitioners set up a booth at the flower market, demonstrated the Falun Dafa exercises, and distributed informative flyers. They also received many signatures on a petition to end the persecution.
Colombia. An Art of Zhenshanren exhibition was presented in the Atlas Building, headquarters of the Administrative Law Courts in the city of Medellin from September 1st through September 5th. Local Falun Gong practitioners offered guided tours to introduce the art exhibit to visitors. The artworks on display were created by Falun Dafa practitioners. The guides introduced the principles of their spiritual practice and explained how the values of Falun Gong influenced the artist's work. At the close of the exhibition, the coordinating judge of the Administrative Law Courts, Catalina Bedoya Lopez, sent a letter of thanks to practitioners.
Poland, the country's largest agriculture center, Skierniewice, hosted the nation's eagerly anticipated 48th Harvest Festival from September 19th to the 21st. The event transformed the small town into a showcase of flowers, fruits, and vegetables. Falun Dafa practitioners participated in the Harvest Festival parade and were well received. The festival offered fireworks, food tastings, celebrity concerts, hot air balloon rides, and a bustling market, which included the opening of the 27th Polish Horticulture and Agriculture Expo and the 18th Healthy Food Expo. Nearly 60 groups from schools, kindergartens, clubs, associations, and municipalities took part in the parade on September 20th. The governor of Lodz province and other elected dignitaries from 29 surrounding municipalities attended.
Australia. The Toowoomba Grand Floral Parade took place in Queensland on September 20th, and Falun Dafa practitioners participated. 80,000 spectators lined the streets to watch the event. The parade's theme was Floral Frenzy, and Falun Dafa practitioners won the second prize in their category. The practitioners' entry included the Tianguo Marching Band and the Waist Drum Team. Their performances were greeted with applause and cheers throughout the parade. ABC News host Jenny Woodward introduced Falun Dafa and said its guiding principles are truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, and that millions of people in over 100 countries across the world follow these principles and do the 5 easy-to-learn exercises.
Bulgaria. The Art of Zhenshanren International Exhibition was held on September 10th through September 20th in the city of Sozopol. The exhibition was held at Art Gallery, which is housed in the Old School, a city cultural monument. Bulgarian Falun Dafa practitioners booked the gallery space for a 10-day run for the exhibition. Ivan Bakhchevanov, the longtime chief curator of Art Gallery, advocated for the space be provided at no cost. He supported the exhibition's mission of exposing the brutal violation of human rights in China, and stated that the artwork resonated with his personal life mission to promote goodness in the world. The 31 paintings on display depicted both joy and harmony of Falun Dafa practitioners' spiritual experiences, as well as their strength in resisting the CCP's persecution.
New Zealand. Practitioners held an event on September 27th at Otara Market in the city of Auckland. They did the Falun Dafa exercises and gave waist drum and dragon dance performances to celebrate the more than 450 million Chinese people who have quit the CCP organizations. Many people agreed with Falun Dafa's principles of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance, and encouraged one another to oppose the CCP's suppression of the practice.
California. Falun Gong practitioners in California participated in the 38th Fog Fest parade in Pacifica City, San Francisco on September 27th. Congressman Sam Liccardo attended the parade and said it was wonderful that practitioners were involved in this important community event. Pacifica City Council member Mary Beer said the principles taught by Falun Gong, truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, are extremely important to society. Practitioners also took part in the Chinatown Autumn Moon Festival in San Francisco on September 27th and 28th. They introduced Falun Gong and raised awareness of the CCP's persecution. Many people signed the petition calling to stop the state-sanctioned forced organ harvesting taking place in China. Some people learned the Falun Gong exercises during the event. The The following are selected cases of persecution of Falun Gong practitioners in China. An 85-year-old retired physician in Liaoning province died on May 27, 2025, after suffering years of persecution for her faith in Falun Gong. Miss Ma Kunfeng took up the practice in 1998 and was arrested several times for protesting against the persecution, forcing her to live away from home to avoid further police brutality. Miss Ma was arrested in 2006 and sent to a brainwashing center where she refused to renounce her faith in Falun Gong. After her release from detention, the police continued to harass her, once seizing her from home to interrogate and torture her. In 2021, she was sentenced to 3.5 years and released last year. The police continued to harass her until her death.
Ms. Li Chaolian of Gansu Province died in prison on September 12th for her faith in Falun Gong. She was arrested in 2022 and was admitted to prison for a 3.5-year term, where she'd already served 2 prior terms totaling 11 years, also for practicing Falun Gong. The guards subjected her to various types of abuse, including around-the-clock monitoring and electric shocks. Ms. Li started vomiting blood in mid-April this year and was soon diagnosed with late-stage lung cancer that had spread to her spine. Her family applied for medical parole but were denied on the grounds that Ms. Li refused to renounce Falun Gong. Ms. Li's family received a call from the prison in late August saying she had fallen into a coma. The family was only able to see her a few weeks later as the prison kept delaying their request. Even while she was in a coma, the authorities refused to release her. On September the 12th, just past 5 p.m., Ms. Li's husband received a call from the prison telling him that his wife had died.
Miss Fu Chenghua, a 66-year-old woman from Heilongjiang province, died on February 11, 2025, while on bail following an illegal arrest for her faith in Falun Gong. After the communist regime launched a nationwide campaign against Falun Gong, Miss Fu held firm to her faith and was repeatedly targeted. In 2003, she was sentenced to 3 years of forced labor. Upon her admission to prison, she was strip-searched and ordered to write statements to renounce Falun Gong and was forced to do hard labor for long hours. 9 years later, she was sent to a brainwashing center and remained firm in her faith even after being severely tortured. Miss Fu's husband was misled by the communist regime's slanderous propaganda about Falun Gong and blamed her for being repeatedly persecuted. He started to beat her until she divorced him. She was last arrested 2 years ago and released at an unknown time. Her death brought an end to the years of persecution she suffered for exercising her constitutional right to freedom of belief.
An 85-year-old woman in Sichuan province was arrested on September 11th for her faith in Falun Gong. Ms. Tang Sulan took up Falun Gong prior to the persecution. After witnessing how she recovered from many ailments, her husband, 3 children, and one of their spouses also began to practice Falun Gong. After 1999, the family was all constantly targeted for not renouncing their faith. Ms. Tang's husband, son, and son-in-law passed away as a result of the persecution. Her grandson, who didn't practice Falun Gong, grew up in fear, witnessing the repeated arrests, harassment, and detention of his parents and other family members. He died from severe mental distress when he was only 21. His grandmother, Ms. Tang, previously served a combined total of 6.5 years of detention and is still waiting to be sentenced.
Telling Chinese tourists about Falun Dafa in South Korea. Jeju Island, the largest island in South Korea, has become a popular tourist destination for Chinese people due to a visa-free policy and direct flights from China. To help Chinese tourists learn about Falun Dafa and break away from the CCP's defamatory propaganda, Falun Dafa practitioners display banners, distribute materials, and the Tianguo marching band gives performances. After the cruise ship Dream arrived at 11 a.m. carrying 2,222 people from Tianjin on September 20th, the tourists gathered at the passenger terminal exit and followed their tour guides to the boat buses in the parking lot. While they waited in line, practitioners were able to tell them about Falun Dafa. Practitioners came to the port of Jeju and, while holding a banner that read "Welcome to Jeju," greeted tourists with a smile. When the first group of tourists disembarked from the cruise ship, the Tianguo marching band played "Falun Dafa is Good." Many people greeted practitioners with a smile, and some took pictures or videos of the performances and the banners. Practitioners waved to the tourists and exclaimed, "Falun Dafa is good," and "Truthfulness, compassion, forbearance is good." Some practitioners who spoke Chinese told the tourists that the CCP is not China. They explained that loving China as a nation does not mean we love the CCP. Many tourists smiled and nodded in agreement and gave practitioners a thumbs up. Some even shook hands with practitioners. After spending over an hour at the port, practitioners went to the Sogwipo Ganzhong port to welcome the Adora Magic City cruise ship that arrived at 2 p.m., carrying more than 5,000 passengers from Shanghai. Before getting on the tour buses, practitioners were able to explain the facts about Falun Dafa. The presence of the Tianguo marching band piqued the tourists' interest. Some security officers and port staff members were initially hesitant, but they became supportive after hearing how practitioners endured persecution in China for their belief. Because the port is small, some practitioners waited at the exit with banners so tourists on the buses could read them. Afterwards, practitioners displayed banners near duty-free shops. At the Shila duty-free shop, numerous Chinese tourists heard the music of the Tianguo marching band and read the posters. Some talked with practitioners, learned the facts about Falun Dafa, and decided to quit the CCP.
Events celebrate the 30th anniversary of Falun Dafa in Sweden. Falun Dafa practitioners held a special series of events from September 19th through September 21st in the city of Gothenburg to commemorate Falun Dafa's introduction to Sweden 30 years ago by Mr. Li Hongzhi, the founder of Falun Dafa. On the first day of the events, activities included a candlelight vigil to commemorate those who lost their lives over the past 26 years due to the CCP's torture and state-sanctioned forced organ harvesting. Practitioners also held a group exercise session. Many passers-by accepted flyers and chatted with the practitioners. On September 20th, the practitioners held a parade as well as several performances at the historical monument at Gustav Adolf Square. The Tianguo marching band and the Chinese waist drum team gave spirited performances. Practitioners also performed the lion dance. Some practitioners were dressed in traditional Chinese ethnic clothes, while others demonstrated the Falun Dafa exercises. Many spectators said they were impressed by the performances. A Falun Dafa rally also took place that day to raise awareness of the CCP's decades-long persecution. Former member of the Swedish parliament Hans Rothenberg spoke about the persecution of the spiritual practice. MP Rothenberg said, "I also want Sweden and above all the European Union to take action against China." Practitioners from Northern Europe and other European countries said they were inspired by the Nordic Falun Dafa Cultivation Experience Sharing Conference that took place in Gothenburg on September 21st. Swedish attendee Martin Lindell began practicing Falun Dafa more than 25 years ago. He said that when he first read the main book of Falun Dafa, Falun, he immediately felt that it was what he had been looking for. He discovered the answers to fundamental questions about life that had perplexed him. Martin said, Falun gave me all the answers. It was truly astonishing. During the conference, a practitioner sharing about how he looked inward and asked for Master's blessings while in the midst of difficulties really touched him. Martin said, "I often have trouble seeing my own problems, but that sharing made me realize that cultivation is about constantly transcending oneself." Another practitioner talked about how he lost his luggage on a train and desperately needing to find it, realized it was an opportunity to reflect on his shortcomings and look inward. This impressed Martin, and he commented, "Life is full of unexpected situations, but if we can't remain calm, we're more likely to make mistakes. I'm trying to learn how to remain calm in the midst of turmoil."
Shen Yun honored in 7 U.S. cities in the state of Texas. The mayors and city councils of 7 cities in the state of Texas, Palmview, Dana, Lancaster, Euless, Segoville, Giddings, and Sequin, issued proclamations honoring Shen Yun Performing Arts from August 28th to September 30th, 2025. They praised Shen Yun's performances for being inspiring, educational, and uplifting, and for benefiting the community and the country with their beauty and grace. The mayor of Palmview, Ricardo Verril, proclaimed September 15, 2025, Shen Yun Day in the city. On the same day, David Marino, mayor of the city of Dana, issued a proclamation for Shen Yun, recognizing its remarkable resilience in the face of adversity, and its great contributions to the community through its exceptional and refined artistry. Mayor Donna Dodgen of Sequin, Texas, issued a proclamation on September 30th to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Shen Yun Performing Arts. It concluded, "Therefore, I, Donna Dodgen, mayor of the city of Sequin, hereby proclaim Tuesday, September 30th, 2025, as a day of celebration and recognition of the 20th anniversary tour of Shen Yun Performing Arts in the city of Sequin, Texas." Ms. Huang, a representative of Shen Yun's Texas organizers, was invited to the proclamation presenting ceremony in the city of Giddings. During the ceremony, the mayor and council members expressed their concern about the CCP's transnational repression. She explained that the CCP's persecution has long relied on 2 conditions. First, that no one knows about the persecution, and second, that no one opposes it, thereby allowing the CCP to operate with impunity. Ms. Huang said, "An award sends a clear message to the world and the CCP. We are aware of these atrocities. The people of our city recognize what is happening, and we are willing to speak out for justice. This is a powerful warning to the CCP. Stop persecuting our people, stop targeting our organization, and stop interfering with the performances our community cherishes and loves." She added, "Every voice for justice is crucial, whether it comes from the federal, state, or city level. Together, these voices form a chorus that cannot be ignored and will bring this persecution to an end sooner."
Thank you for listening to the Minghui Radio Podcast. For more information, including news about the persecution of Falun Gong practitioners in China and experience sharing stories by practitioners around the world, please visit our website at en.minghui.org.